Democrats have a communist, a billionaire, a senile, a fake Indian, a small-town mayor, and a binder thrower as candidates for president, it really is a crapshoot and a crap show. The Rat Pack of Democrats headed to Vegas to debate endlessly about how America is awful, and so is every other candidate on that stage. Let's go all in on this one. I'm Katie Petrick, and this is Healthy Republic. America was able to see the Rat Pack in Vegas on Wednesday night, but it wasn't the one anyone wanted to see. Before we giggle and grievance, today's question is, who do you have your money on? Please comment below. Right now, the odds-on pick is to go all in on red with Bernie Sanders, because he's a communist. For anyone who watched the debate, they likely tuned in to see if the Democrats could find an American flag. Oh, look, there it is. I see one. Oh, sorry, nope. That was a clear mistake. Okay, the real reason people may have tuned in was to see former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg on the stage for the first time. And before we get to his performance, we need to know how he got there. It was the DNC, of course.
They removed it so that he could be in the next debate. He doesn't have to show he has any support amongst the American people. He can just buy his way onto the debate stage. And I got to tell you what's so disgusting about this. I watched the debate in Iowa here 2 weeks ago. The all-white debate. And the fact that the DNC will not allow Cory Booker on that stage, will not allow Julian Castro on that stage.
Hold on to your britches, he's about to blow.
But they're going to allow Mike Bloomberg on the stage because he's got $1 billion fucking dollars.
Big Mike ragged on how Little Mike was cutting in line. But when Big Mike cut in line at the Cravings Buffet at the Mirage, no one called him out, so I guess I don't understand what he's complaining about. He is right, though, that Bloomberg's appearance was almost not to be. He had an eventful evening and was almost late to the debate since he had a 6 p.m. curtain.
Down here we got snapping turtles.
Up there we got big bed bugs.
Down here the whale's making trouble.
Up there A-Rod's taking drugs.
New Yorkers, the bravest people. The cops on the beat, they care.
It's true, firefighters, teachers. We got heroes everywhere.
Good life in NYC.
Bloomberg wanted to be part of their world, and so he took the debate stage and became the center of attention. I guess the Little Mermaid performance is still more brutal than what we are about to see, but it's debatable, unlike what happened on that stage.
And another candidate who wants to buy this party out.
We are giving a voice to people who are saying we are sick and tired of billionaires like Mr. Bloomberg.
He has not managed his city very, very well when he was there.
Even the moderators took shots at Bloomberg.
Mayor Bloomberg, should you exist?
I can't speak for all billionaires. All I know is I've been very lucky, made a lot of money, and I'm giving it all away to make this country better. And a good chunk of it goes to the Democratic Party as well.
Is it too much? Have you earned too much money? Has it been an obscene amount of money? Should you have earned that much money?
Yes, I worked very hard for it.
Well, clearly not, because Elizabeth Warren decided to torch him, and torch him good.
I'd like to talk about who we're running against. A billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Mayor Bloomberg. And I hope you heard what his defense was. I've been nice to some women. Mr. Mayor, are you willing to release all of those women from those non-disclosure agreements so we can hear their side of the story?
Luck be no lady when it came to Warren's attacks against Bloomberg, or all of the other candidates, even a fellow Yaya sister.
Mayor Buttigieg really has a slogan that was thought up by his consultants to paper over a thin version of a plan. His campaign relentlessly attacks everyone who asks a question or tries to fill in details about how to actually make this work. And Amy's plan is even less. It's like a Post-it note. Insert plan here. Need a plan.
I must say I take personal offense since Post-it notes were invented in my state.
You should 3M us. 3M.
Okay.
What seemed so weird throughout the entire evening was that instead of spending time trying to take down President Trump, who they see as Dr. Evil, they spent their time trying to take out the short legs that are on Mini Mike. From their viewpoint, Mike Bloomberg might as well have been on the escalator when President Trump arrived in 2015. And Bloomberg really did support Trump just a few years prior to the famous escalator ride.
I know Donald Trump. He's a great guy. He doesn't do everything he says, but he sure tries, and I'm a big fan of Donald Trump.
No matter what Bloomberg said about the 2012 election or him on the stage for the 2020 election, no one was listening to him because sensible statements are simply not allowed.
I don't think there's any chance of the senator beating President Trump. You don't start out by saying, I've got 160 million people. I'm going to take away the insurance plan that they love.
Dang near every time Bloomberg spoke, the audience responded to him in the exact same way. But there was one exchange that will go down as glorious because the commie was finally called for what he is. A commie, like I just said.
I can't think of ways that would make it easier for Donald Trump to get reelected than listening to this conversation. It's ridiculous. We're not going to throw out capitalism. We tried that. Other countries tried that. It was called communism, and it just didn't work.
So let me make a proposal that will work.
Yes, listen to them all groan about how he said communism is bad and capitalism is good. That's why Bernie got uppity and came back with his socialistic bona fides.
But here is the point. Let's talk about democratic socialism, not communism, Mr. Bloomberg. That's a cheap shot. Let's talk about democratic. Let's talk about what goes on in countries like Denmark.
For all the talk about Denmark, Bernie selectively forgets that Denmark has a market economy, not the complete government stranglehold that he wants to put on the American economy if he is president. I was happy Bloomberg finally said what we have all been saying all along.
What a wonderful country we have. The best-known socialist in the country happens to be a millionaire with 3 houses. What I miss here?
Well, you'll miss that I work in Washington, House 1.
That's the first problem.
Live in Burlington, House 2.
That's good.
And like thousands of other Vermonters, I do have a summer camp. Forgive me for that. Where is your home? Which tax haven do you have your home?
New York City, thank you very much. And I pay all my taxes. And I'm happy to do it because I get something for it.
Forgive me for that. You can't make this up. Bloomberg has no chance at the nomination, despite his supposed attempts to steal the election. But he can always say he took that one swing on Bernie.
Second most successful robbery. Of course, he was breathing out of a hose for the next 3 weeks. Goddamn hippie.
Gee whiz.
Gee whiz. So after they hit each other for a while, the candidates spoke a bit about the same things they always do. We know healthcare is an important topic for all Americans, and the debaters took it super seriously.
We need to improve the Affordable Care Act, not blow it up.
You name check 3 of them. Let me get Senator Sanders in there. You were.
Okay.
Go ahead, Senator Sanders.
Okay.
We'll get you in, Miss.
All right.
We got a lot of people in here that we got hit.
It's my turn, yeah?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Warren, though, had a much more important issue she wanted to discuss.
I want to make sure that the question of environmental justice gets more than a glancing blow in this debate, because for generations now in this country, toxic waste dumps, polluting factories have been located in or near communities of color over and over.
They've been located in cities that are run by Democrats, including Las Vegas, which is called Sin City for a reason, and it just makes sense to have one, if not all of the Democratic debates there. Plus, it will make those campaign stops so very exciting.
I'm here to ask you to stop propping up the dairy industry and to stop propping up animal agriculture. I believe in you.
This is Nevada. There's always a little bit of excitement. At no extra cost.
See? It's free! So vote for Bernie or something. At least don't vote for Amy Klobuchar.
You're literally in part of the committee that's overseeing these things, and we're not able to speak to literally the first thing about the politics of the country to ourselves.
Are you trying to say that I'm dumb, or are you mocking me here, Pete?
I'm saying that you shouldn't trivialize that
I made an
knowledge.
error. People sometimes forget names.
Just ask Joe. He didn't even know where he was. And maybe that's why he just stood content as the clown to the left of him and the joker to the right went at it.
And that's what we are saying, Pete, is maybe it's a time for the working class of this country to have a little bit of power in Washington rather than your billionaire campaign contributors.
All right, look, first of all,
I know.
It was no laughing matter when Bernie put his tinfoil hat on to appease those who traveled to the debate from Area 51.
Now, let me say something else about this, not being too paranoid. All of us remember 2016. And what we remember is efforts by Russians and others to try to interfere in our election and divide us up. I'm not saying that's happening.
Or is it happening? A game of Russian roulette, anyone? Meanwhile, in the rest of America, there was a great moment showing us how us deplorables behave. So while the Democrats were bickering in Vegas, two men were carrying 100-year-old Irvin Julian, who is a Navy veteran of World War II, to his seat for President Trump's rally in Phoenix. With the show the Democrats put on Wednesday night, all of the Democratic voters may as well go into the voting booth like the slot sharks go into the casinos. Does it really matter who they pick as a Democratic nominee? No, it doesn't. Because the odds are you're going to get screwed with your pants on with whichever candidate comes out the other end. And Nevada has vowed to not repeat what happened in Iowa with the voting debacle. Right, because we know vows taken in Vegas tend to be stated alongside an Elvis impersonator. Until next time, stay healthy, America.